Hi, I'm Ray Collins. Scott Dennis is off this week. Bayshore High School alumni have one more day to fill out a survey. Health experts are trying to figure out if tainted soil caused former students to have a higher rate of cancer and other illnesses. Our Marla Spence has the story.
Imagine walking the halls of this high school to walk out and years later be diagnosed with cancer or an autoimmune disease. Well, that's what alumni from 1962 up until now say happened to them and their fellow classmates. Since December 1st, the Manatee County Health Department has been taking surveys from former students who say they fell victim to cancer from contaminated soil. According to the health department's website, it states there is no evidence that Bayshore High School is the source of any disease clusters. We spoke to a former student who has spearheaded a Facebook page that's full of concerns over whether the school caused this medical mystery. She tells us she has knowledge of almost 400 cancer and autoimmune disease cases.
Well, my sister's class of 1979, there's 4 leukemias. 3 of those have passed away. And we've recently learned of 3 Lou Gehrig's disease from the exact same class. 2 of those are deceased. And Lou Gehrig's disease, as you know, is extremely rare, just like the leukemias are. And all of these are from the class of 1979, which had a graduating class of approximately 260.
So far, time is ticking for alumni and former workers. The survey by the Manatee County Health Department comes to an end Friday at 5 p.m. I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Other news now, a spike in thefts on boats is prompting Longboat Key to remind boaters to take precautions. In the past week, there were 9 thefts in Pinellas and Charlotte counties. Most of the stolen boat parts are never recovered. Longboat Key's police chief says stealing boat engines can be big business these days.
Get the word out to my community. We have a lot of boats out here. We've got a lot of boat owners, and we're surrounded by water. We're an island.
Police suggest taking pictures of your expensive equipment to hold on to for safekeeping, or try attaching a GPS monitoring device to keep your boat safe as an extra precaution. Well, solar jobs are looking bright across the Sunshine State. The Solar Foundation says, while nationwide employment was down 4%, jobs in 29 states, including Florida, saw an increase of jobs. Florida has added over 300 new solar jobs in the past year alone. Happening today, Governor Rick Scott will visit Mote Marine this afternoon. The governor's staff says there's been over $1 billion in new investments into the state's environment since he took office in 2011. He'll speak at Mote Marine's Education Center today at 3 p.m. We'll have an update at 5 and 6. Also today, baseball season begins in about 4 hours for the Tampa Bay Rays in St. Petersburg. The Rays begin a 4-game series today with the visiting Boston Red Sox. 4:10 p.m. at Tropicana Field. For the 13th straight year, the home opener is sold out. And Rays fans will get a 20th anniversary cowbell today. And this morning, the Rays tweeted this picture. It's a throwback shot from 1998 on the Rays' first ever opening day. Forecast for the game, 72 and clear inside that dome, right? Right.
Always
inside that dome.
Yeah, beautiful thing. We're looking at some very pleasant weather around here today, I think. Similar to yesterday, but you might notice humidity's a little higher. I don't know if that kind of picked up on that, but it's very minor, but it's there. Yeah. It caused our morning temperatures to be a little bit warmer this morning by about 5 degrees or so. And that'll be the case tomorrow as well. I think we'll see an uptick in the humidity, because our winds becoming increasingly southerly. A few fair weather clouds, but really that's about it. We're not going to see much more than that. Certainly no rainfall around today. As we head into the next 24, I think we'll see probably a few more clouds around, and the chance for some rain showers does exist. So we're looking at a spiraling gyre out there in the Atlantic of cloud, and that is the big high pressure ridge, which is directing our winds up out of the south and bringing us a few clouds that have grown in the warmer, more humid conditions down to our south, plus a frontal boundary that continues to press eastward from the west. Now that one is producing some fairly heavy weather back to the west, but for us here locally, the high pressure ridge continues to provide us with quiet conditions. There have been all kinds of problems with that low pressure area moving to the east. We've seen severe weather, we've seen flooding rains, we've seen severe thunderstorms, and all of that is gradually lifting off to the north and the east. Now, the front itself does promise us changing weather over the weekend, which we'll be talking about in detail. But until then, warm temperatures and sunny skies with today's daytime high pretty close to where we are now. We're at the 80-degree mark in Sarasota, Bradenton, and many other locations closing in on that 80-degree mark, and very little chance of rain. We'll talk about that weekend forecast coming up in just a minute. Back to
Thank you,
Ray.
John. The now ousted Secretary of the Veterans Administration is making some sharp statements before he leaves the national stage. This, as the new nominee is already very well known to President Trump. ABC's Tara Palmieri has the latest.
President Trump fired his controversial Secretary of Veteran Affairs, David Shulkin, nominating White House doctor Admiral Ronnie Jackson as his replacement. For months, sources say Trump privately fumed about Shulkin, following an Inspector General report that reveals he brought his wife on a European tour where they watched a Wimbledon match, costing taxpayers $122,000. Despite being a rare Obama administration holdover, President Trump praised his cabinet secretary, who was confirmed unanimously by the Senate.
I also want to express our appreciation for Secretary Shulkin, who is implementing the dramatic reform throughout the VA.
Not going out quietly, Shulkin told NPR his firing was a political attack.
There are many political appointees in the VA that believe that we're moving in the wrong direction or weren't moving fast enough towards privatizing the VA.
He blames the administration for not letting him defend himself after the damaging Inspector General report.
I think that this was really just being used in a political context to try to make sure that I wasn't as effective as a leader moving forward.
Jackson is the first non-veteran to head the VA. He also has little management experience, as he's asked to lead the second largest government agency after the Pentagon. His appointment comes after his glowing review of the president's health.
I told the president that if he had a healthier diet over the last 20 years, he might live to be 200 years old.
Shulkin isn't the only cabinet secretary that President Trump has complained about. Sources tell ABC News he's angry with Housing Secretary Ben Carson for purchasing a $31,000 dining set, and EPA Secretary Scott Pruitt for his excessive travel spending. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, Washington.
On to world news now. The date is set for an historic meeting of the leaders of North and South Korea. They'll meet 4 weeks from tomorrow in South Korea. This is the first time they've met in 11 years. No word yet when Kim Jong-un will meet with President Trump. Also in the Far East, it was 45 years ago today the final American combat troops left Vietnam, ending 10 years of U.S. military presence. To mark the anniversary, local veterans held a ceremony today at the National Veterans Cemetery in Sarasota County. The retired general and former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under Presidents Clinton and George W. Bush, Hugh Shelton, was also there this morning. He spoke with Suncoast veterans about their concerns, including medical care, and the importance of keeping promises made to servicemen and their families.
There are a whole host of these issues that veterans have to kind of keep a close watch on and make sure they have a strong voice in the political decisions that are made regarding them.
Back in 2012, President Obama signed a declaration making March 29th National Vietnam Veterans Day. Still to come on your Suncoast News, a breakthrough toward a male birth control pill? We'll have the latest. And how a safari got up close and personal for one man. He got more than he bargained for. That story and more news on the way.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Well, I knew that.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
Car experts and customers agree there's a lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease the all-new 2018 Subaru Impreza for just $195 a month for 42 months with zero due at signing. That's right, not one penny. Get more for your money during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Florida Studio Theater presents Blue Suede Shoes, celebrating the birth of rock and roll. From the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry, to the king himself, Elvis Presley, this musical review features such great hits as Rock Around the Clock, Mustang Sally, Johnny B. Good, and of course, Blue Suede Shoes. Critics are calling Blue Suede Shoes a burst of rock history, dynamic and high voltage. Audiences are calling it phenomenal. Blue Suede Shoes has been held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting FloridaStudioTheater.org.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station. Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So yesterday was delightful low humidity weather. And we mentioned yesterday that with a southerly wind flow, we'd start to increase moisture. And sure enough, that's exactly what's happening. Our dew point value now at 60. So yesterday we were in the mid to low 50s in many locations. 60, while not uncomfortable, is certainly noticeably more humid than mid to low 50s. And as we head into tomorrow, I bet we'll see that dew point value climb into the mid 60s and perhaps even briefly into the upper 60s as we head into the weekend. South wind now at 16, kind of blustery again today, a little bit on the breezy side. That'll be the case throughout the afternoon, I think. 80 degrees the air temperature with a few fair weather clouds. Across the region, generally speaking, we have most everywhere closing in on that 80 mark or passing it. 78 degrees in Arcadia, Mayaca, Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch. 82 degrees in Punta Gorda, and Venice comes in at 77 and 76 degrees in Inglewood. So what will we notice over the next day or two? I think these temperatures will probably tomorrow be about where they are now, or maybe even a degree cooler. This is the 24-hour temperature change from this time yesterday, and we're clearly a little bit warmer by a couple of degrees this hour than we were 24 hours ago at this time. 81 by 3 p.m. We'll probably top it out today at about 82 or 3 for a daytime high. And then as we head into the afternoon, we'll start to trend it on down, probably about 65, the overnight low or so. We have a lot of showery and thunderstorm activity back to the west. We've had some severe weather already today in parts of Texas, and we'll probably see a couple of severe storms, maybe even an isolated tornado in parts of the northern Gulf Coast as we head into the afternoon. That's associated with this frontal boundary. Now, in advance of this frontal boundary, skies are pretty clear. There's a big ridge of high pressure sitting out there in the Atlantic. The combination of this low pressure area and frontal boundary and the high pressure ridge out in the Atlantic is what's causing our winds to be breezy out of the southeast. No rain in the forecast for us here. That's false echo. That is chaff from military exercises being released into the atmosphere and kind of picks up our radar beam and gives us some false echoes. So these areas outlined in green are areas where there could be, again today, some flooding potential. Flash flood advisories are up for these areas, and also some river advisories as well for some very heavy thunderstorm activity that we've had there today and is ongoing today as well. Now the thing is, as these kind of move toward the east and enter into the state of Florida by tomorrow, I think we'll see a lot of this activity kind of fall apart. The frontal boundary itself is going to stick over north central Florida and just kind of linger there for a day or so until it washes away. But it will cause our rain chances to go up a bit as we head into the weekend. Breezy today and mild, humidity rising, and then showers probably starting late Friday night. And I'm not going to say that they're going to be an all-day rain-out kind of shower. So we hit and miss on and off, not very big rain chances, but they'll be in the forecast for Friday night into Saturday morning, then a little bit of a break, and then again as we head into Sunday. So breezy wind south at about 15, and then this evening kind of dying down a little bit. So today, no rain, 83. Tomorrow, 20% chance of a late day shower or evening shower, 81. Then on Saturday, again in the morning, a chance of a shower. Sunday, probably in the afternoon, and isolated showers will still be kind of humid. And then a little bit of drier air will work its way in and bring us sunshine for the beginning of next week. Back to you.
In HealthSmart, the first birth control pill was approved back in 1960. And now there's more and more talk about a new birth control pill for men. Reporter Kim Hutcherson has the story.
Researchers have spent decades trying to develop a birth control pill for men. And according to a new study, they may finally be making headway. The results were presented at a recent Endocrine Society meeting. They indicate the proposed pill reduces hormone levels responsible for sperm production, including testosterone, without any major side effects. Participants were randomly assigned to one of 4 groups. One group received a placebo, and the other 3 received varying doses of the medication. After 28 days, testosterone levels in all 3 groups taking the medication were comparable to levels seen after castration. The group getting the highest dose also had a significant reduction in 2 hormones that regulate testosterone and sperm production. The main purpose of the study was to find an effective dosage. More research needs to be done before any pill could go into production. The study's sample size is too small to definitively evaluate potential side effects for the general population, and the duration was too short to evaluate the potential for liver damage. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
If you think you're paying more at the pharmacy, you might be right. A new report shows prescription drug prices are rising at nearly 10 times the rate of inflation. In fact, there's one chest pain reliever, nearly up 500%. Not easy for customers on fixed incomes either, and by law, Medicare is not allowed to directly negotiate drug prices. Florida's organ donor registry has hit a new milestone. More than 10 million people have signed up to donate organs and tissue. The group called Donate Florida says the state's registry is now 3rd largest nationwide. Despite the big numbers, more donors are still needed. 115,000 are still on the National Organ Transplant waiting list. 95% of the state's donors have come through driver's license registrations and renewals. All right, time for lunch. Here's Chef Josh Wood with an unusual sounding menu item today, Josh.
Good afternoon, thanks for having me. Today we're going to make egg in the hole French toast, and if you don't know what that is, we're going to make it shortly, John and I.
All right, looking forward to that. That and more news on the way.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is going to happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
A promise was made. A promise that hit the beaches of Normandy. A vow that captured Iwo Jima. A contract that weathered Tet. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now.
Caught on camera, this one's for history buffs. Researchers found 29 fossilized footprints off the coast of Western Canada. You're looking at a 13,000-year-old footprint on an island in British Columbia. Since the footprints were discovered on an island, researchers think people in the area were using boats back then to explore the area. Experts say the footprints belong to 2 adults and a child. A bizarre scene in the wild, a video of an elephant, an Asian elephant appearing to blow smoke. It has wildlife experts baffled. The newly released video was shot 2 years ago in India. It shows the elephant ingesting something with its trunk before blowing out smoke. Wildlife experts suggest the elephant may have been ingesting natural charcoal and blowing out ash. They say this is the first known documentation of such behavior. They say curiosity killed the cat, but definitely not this cat. A man recorded this video on a spring break tour through the Serengeti with his uncle, and they got much closer to Africa's wildlife than they ever paid for. 3 cheetahs targeted the land cruiser. One jumped on the hood, another poked inside the back window. After sniffing around and chewing on some seats, the animals left without a scratch to that driver. Wow, don't turn around. An amazing view of the sky caught on video. An airline passenger took this time-lapse video earlier this month while on a flight called the Flight of the Lights to see the southern lights over New Zealand. It takes passengers from the city of Christchurch down to the Antarctic Circle before looping back again. Passengers say they take the trip because the best places to see the lights are in the middle of the ocean. Got John Scalzi's attention there. Let's talk about lunch with Chef Josh and John, talking about some French toast today, guys.
You pulled out the A-list video there, didn't you? Wow, that was good stuff.
Blew me away.
It really did, all that.
I was in a trance with that.
Pretty amazing. Josh, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
As always, from Muse Restaurant, cooking up something new for your brunch menu.
Yes, it is on our current brunch menu right now. We've been running brunch for about the past 4 months, and it's been doing really well. But
I love French toast.
We're going to get started.
Okay.
So, real eggs.
Yep.
Important point number 1. Don't use stuff from a carton. It doesn't act the same.
Say that again?
It doesn't cook the same. You know, they put all those stabilizers in the already ready to go mixed eggs.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're talking about the little milk cartons of. I gotcha.
Already prepared eggs.
I thought, where else do you get eggs but from an egg carton?
So what we have.
Oh, that is such a city thing to say, isn't it? I mean, how about from chickens, right?
So what we have here is it's a little bit of heavy cream, and we're just going to whisk those eggs in until it all becomes one. We're going to add a little bit of ground cinnamon. You know, you can be pretty heavy-handed with it if you want.
Love cinnamon and French toast.
Right.
Gotta go together.
That and French vanilla extract. So once this gets all together and the cinnamon gets absorbed, we have to do the egg in the hole part.
How's that?
Which has everyone baffled at ABC7 today. All right. This is my nifty little thing. You can use anything at home that is a circle.
Little pastry cutter there.
Yeah, so we're going to take our brioche bread, we're going to push down, rotate. There's one. Push down, rotate. There's another.
I suppose you could use an empty tin can.
You could. Yeah, right? Anything at home that you have. So we're going to do this like normal French toast.
Now here's the part where I get into trouble when I do this at home.
What happens?
They always break apart.
Oh, okay.
So I try to lift them out of the wash.
Well, you just have to be a little bit gentle with them.
I guess
we're going to let that sit there, and then we're going to add our egg.
Do you use butter or oil in your
this is oil. Typically, you can use butter or oil. They both work just fine. You're going to let that sit in there. So the important part of this that a lot of people at the restaurant or my mother at home would rush is they would wait, or they wouldn't wait for the egg to get cooked around to seal it.
Right.
Because we're going to have to flip this over.
Gotcha.
So that's going to be the hardest part. So while that's working, I'm going to get this second piece going.
So if you don't wait, I'm assuming what you're saying is a tragedy would ensue.
Yes, the egg's not going to come with it.
All right.
Which is the whole point of the dish.
Right. Gotcha.
So we will set this one aside here.
Do you use any sugar in your batter or anything like that?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Do you?
I have on occasion, but I don't. I usually kind of slip it in because it's not appreciated at home.
Oh, really?
Sugar. No, we don't like sugar.
Oh, no. All right, so let's see here. This looks like it should be ready, and we're going to have to be ultra delicate.
This is impressive. Wow.
Oh, I didn't make it.
No?
I didn't make it. We'd have to do another batch.
We won't tell. I don't think our stove is exactly what you are used to.
Electric stoves are kind of hard.
They are.
But that's okay.
Especially if you're a professional chef and you have, all kinds of good things.
So once this gets finished, all you have to do is simply just plate it and garnish it with maple syrup or powdered sugar with maybe a side of fresh fruit.
Oh,
and it's all ready to go. That's what we do at the restaurant.
And it's on the menu every day?
Yes.
Or just the brunch menu?
Just the brunch menu.
Okay.
On Sundays.
On Sundays only?
Yes, Sundays 10 to 3 at Muse.
Great. So the recipe for it is on our website, mysuncoast.com. You can go click on the dining button, and all the information will be there for you. And what time does brunch open up?
So brunch is from 10 to 3 at Muse on Sundays.
On Sundays?
Yes, indeed.
Sundays only.
Mimosas and
What
Bloody
a
Mary
beautiful
special.
place it is, too.
It's gorgeous. We're doing
dine outside.
Easter brunch buffet this week.
Oh, okay.
This Sunday for Easter.
Good to know.
Yeah,
all right.
It'll be a nice buffet.
Reservations still available?
Yes, of course. Come on down.
And what are you serving up?
Ooh, prime rib, Alaskan king crab, southern cheddar grits.
Wow.
We'll have waffles, pancakes, eggs. It's going to be a huge spread.
A feast.
Yes, indeed.
All
Only.
right. Well, there you go. Beautiful setting. Walk around the grounds. Absolutely gorgeous. And the name of the dish again is?
Egg in the whole French toast.
Egg in the whole French toast. Joss, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, John.
Always a pleasure. We'll be right back.
So Matt told me to meet him at 7 a.m. sharp right here. It is now 7:01 a.m. You think Matt will leave without me? Hey, is Matt here?
Long con.
Long gone.
Just missed him.
Just missed him.
All done.
Mr. Sparky guarantees they're on time and the repair is free, so chop chop.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Matt, you started without me.
I finished without you, too.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership, both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Setback for the prosecution. We'll tell you about a judge's decision in favor of some frat brothers on trial. Plus, the brother of the Stoneman Douglas shooting suspect receives his sentence for trespassing 3 times on campus since the massacre. And free again. We'll show you a turtle release from the Florida Keys. The news at noon continues right now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
New developments in the Penn State hazing case, a major blow to the prosecution and Timothy Piazza's family as the judge threw out the most serious charges against the students' frat brothers. ABC's Gio Benitez has the story.
This morning, a judge dismissing the most serious charges against some of the former Penn State frat brothers who were charged in the death of 19-year-old pledge Tim Piazza. In a blow to the prosecution, the judge dropping involuntary manslaughter charges against 5 of the students. But they still face a slew of other charges, including tampering with evidence, reckless endangerment, and hazing. They have pleaded not guilty.
This is a very serious prosecution which still has remaining 560 counts against 26 individuals, each count in and of itself carrying a year in jail.
Piazza died in February 2017 following an alcohol-fueled hazing ritual. Surveillance video from the Beta Theta Pi house shows him downing at least 18 drinks in less than 90 minutes. That night, he fell repeatedly, even down a flight of stairs. The frat brothers waiting 12 hours before calling 911 the next morning.
Throughout the night, they slapped him, they poured drinks on him, they laughed at him, they flipped him around, all while he needed to go to the hospital.
Prosecutors allege the students tried to cover up the drinking and that one of the students deleted video evidence from the basement. The FBI later recovered it, and this week it was played in court. Piazza is seen participating in alcohol-fueled fraternity rituals, eventually staggering toward the basement stairs.
We haven't watched the video at all. It's bad enough that we have our imagination. I don't need to see my baby suffering like that.
No.
Happening across Florida, other news now. The brother of the suspected Stoneman Douglas High School gunman has pleaded no contest to a trespassing charge. Deputies arrested the younger brother of Nicholas Cruz last week at that same school. Zachary Cruz told officers he was there to reflect on the shooting. Since it was the 3rd time he was caught at the school since the shooting, a judge set Cruz's bond at $500,000. He was sentenced, though, to time served and 6 months probation. And a Stoneman Douglas shooting survivor is now fighting back against a big name in the news. David Hogg is calling on his Twitter followers to take action against Fox News host Laura Ingraham. This after Ingraham suggested that Hogg sought out media attention, and also she tweeted about his number of college rejections. In response, Hogg tweeted a list of Ingraham's top 12 advertisers, asking people to contact them. Right now, crews are fighting a brush fire near Daytona that has shut down part of I-95. The fire has consumed 105 acres. No word yet if the flames damaged any houses or buildings. Florida's Agriculture Commissioner Adam Putnam toured the wildfires in Volusia County. So far, the flames are only about 50% contained. A 100-pound loggerhead sea turtle is once again enjoying freedom. This is Dusenberry. He was found off Key Largo last December near the Molasses Reef. He was floating and unable to dive to get food. The turtle was treated and nursed back to health before the big release. The Turtle Hospital in Key Largo has treated more than 2,000 injured sea turtles. Here on the Sun Coast, the Humane Society of Sarasota County hosted its 12th annual Paws on the Catwalk. Today, it's at the Ritz-Carlton. The event featured a fashion show, live auction, entertainment. This is the Humane Society's biggest fundraising event of the year.
The Humane Society of Sarasota County receives no state or federal funding. We're not affiliated with any other humane organizations. So events like this one, which bring in a lot of money for us, are so important because that's how we fund our mission.
And all of the proceeds from the event will benefit the Humane Society of Sarasota County. Nice event for dog lovers, huh? Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good stuff.
So some spotty rain on the menu.
You know, we could use it, and it would be kind of nice to get. Hopefully it wouldn't happen during, Easter egg hunts or any outside activities on Sunday, but it looks pretty good. Our rain chance is only at about 20 or 30% this weekend.
Not too bad. Okay.
Not too bad. Certainly no rain chance today. It's going to be a dry day. Taking a look at our Sarasota Bay webcam, it is beautiful out there. I can't wait to walk the bridge in about 35 minutes. Yep, going to be great out there. Blue sky, a few fair weather clouds. Now, the only thing is the winds will be up just a little bit again this afternoon, similar to what we saw a couple of days ago. Titan radar looks pretty good. We've got a little bit of false echo down to the south, but certainly no rain in our forecast. We do have showers back to the west, though. That's a frontal boundary, and that frontal boundary is progressing eastward into the state of Florida. Now, the combination of that front moving eastward and that big gyre out in the Atlantic, which is a big ridge of high pressure, actually, is causing the winds to kind of pick up out of the south. The combination of those two features is what's bringing us our windy conditions. But it's also increasing humidity, which is a good thing, really, for our area right now, because the fire danger index again today is very high, high to very high in most all counties in the southern half of Florida. So a little bit of extra humidity helps that situation. It's a little better today than it was yesterday. Our daytime high tops out in the low 80s. We'll have a mix of sun and fair weather clouds, and it will be a rain-free evening for all your outdoor activities. We'll talk about that weekend rain chance coming up in just a few, Ray.
All right, John, talk to you soon. Jury selection continues in the third trial of a Venice man charged with killing 2 people. John Lee, accused of killing Tracy Nabergal and Jason Salter back in 2011. His first trial ended in a mistrial because jurors were found talking about the case. After a second trial, a judge again granted a mistrial because of possible evidence being withheld. This is now Lee's third trial. The state is seeking the death penalty. A big break in a 12-year-old cold case in Manatee County. Sheriff deputies have made an arrest in a homicide investigation. Back in 2006, Jose Rodriguez Lozada was shot to death on 3rd Street West in Bradenton. And detectives say Zomar Rosario was a person of interest at the time, and now because of new leads, they arrested him and charged him with the murder. Detectives believe the shooting was drug-related. A former Bradenton bail bondsman will spend more than 8 years in prison for cashing stolen and fraudulent checks. James Jean Rene was found guilty of conspiracy, theft of government property, and identity theft. Prosecutors say he deposited more than 100 U.S. Treasury checks for tax refunds or veterans' pension benefits into bank accounts for his bail bonds company. They say he also stole over $850,000 from victims. Jean Rene was found guilty of conspiracy, theft of government property, and identity theft. The city of Sarasota is one of the first communities in Florida to join a massive lawsuit against makers and sellers of opioids. A multi-district lawsuit based in Ohio is moving forward in the courts. Sarasota is now working with a local private attorney who will only get paid if the city recoups some money. He says you'd be surprised at the wide range of costs associated with this epidemic.
In Sarasota County, they asked for $300,000 to increase the budget at the medical examiner's office to handle the increased pressure of autopsies. That has a direct correlation.
Manatee County is filing a similar lawsuit. The judge in this case reportedly has a record of brokering settlements. A reminder, one of Sarasota's most scenic roads remains closed during spring break. Work is underway to put a temporary fix on an erosion issue on Casey Keys Road. 2 cabana structures, as you see, recently collapsed into the Gulf due to severe erosion there. Sarasota County crews are working to fix and protect the road and the homes from additional erosion.
We have identified about 300 feet of severely eroded shoreline, and we are installing a series of tiered sandbags.
It's a very big issue because the erosion is coming into the road, and pretty soon it will wash away the road.
Sarasota County officials say Casey Key Road should reopen sometime tomorrow. Another step forward for a former Best Western across from Sarasota Memorial Hospital. Owners of the Baymont Inn and Suites on Tamiami Trail near Bay Vista are working to transform the hotel into a 4 Points by Sheraton. Plans include adding 2 and 3 floors to the existing structure. The city says developers still need to apply for a building permit before any construction can begin. The deadline is Saturday if you've not paid your property taxes from last year. Accounts unpaid as of May 1st are charged an additional fee, and if the taxes remain unpaid, the amount increases on June 1st. Some ways you can pay is online through the Sarasota Tax Collector or through the mail or in person. For details on this story, you can go to our website, mysuncoast.com. SunsetDodge.com. And happening later on today, the University of South Florida Sarasota Manatee campus is hosting a Jobapalooza career fair. More than 24 employers will be on campus to connect with students. The event runs from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Selby Auditorium on Tamiami Trail across from the airport. Still to come on your Suncoast News, if you're doing your own taxes, we have some helpful tips for you. That and more consumer news next at noon.
Come experience the rugged capability and luxurious comfort of a new Ram truck and get big savings during Ram Truck Month at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new Ram trucks. Get the all-new redesigned 2018 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $23,999. Or save big and get $10,000 off a new Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment, and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind Your Meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station. Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
80-degree the air temperature, the dew point value on the rise, coming in at about 60 now. Again, the dew point value is the measure of how much moisture there is in the air. The lower the dew point, the drier the air. The higher the dew point, the more moisture. When you get up into the 70-degree dew points and better, that's summer-like. So we've just cracked the 60-degree dew point, and while still comfortable, it is noticeably more humid, I think. As we head into the next 24 hours, that southerly wind coming in at about 16 will help to continue to increase the dew points. And I think by Friday afternoon, it's going to feel noticeably humid, I think, in the afternoon. Certainly that'll be true on Saturday, I suspect, as the winds turn even more to the southwest and become onshore. 78 degrees Lakewood Ranch, 79 Bradenton, 80 as I mentioned in Sarasota, 78 degrees in Venice, Inglewood at 76, Northport at 78, and inland temperatures pretty close to the 80 mark as well. So a fairly uniform temperature that's about 2 to 3 degrees warmer than it was just 24 hours ago, thanks to that developing south wind. We top it out today at about 81. Then as we go into the evening, we're looking at temperatures in the mid-70s. Should be beautiful. A few fair weather clouds, cumulus clouds, none of them producing any rainfall. Winds will still be breezy, particularly as you go closer to the coastline. You'll find those winds picking up to 15 miles per hour, so right along the immediate coast. Inland, maybe a little bit less. And then as we head into the midnight hour, temperatures fall into the 70s. You wake up tomorrow morning, winds will be a little quieter, and you will see temperatures that'll be in the mid-60s, and it'll feel kind of humid. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if on Saturday morning we even have a little bit of patchy fog around here as our winds turn to the southwest. Why are they turning to the southwest? Because this front is approaching, and as that front approaches, the winds in advance of that front turn southwest and kind of funnel up that deep moisture that rides up over that front and creates these showers and even thunderstorms. And there is a potential for some severe weather, though as the system continues to press eastward and moves into the state of Florida later tonight into tomorrow, the threat of severe weather goes down markedly as the area of strong storms lifts off to the north and to the east. We don't get much in the way of any rainfall chance today. Tomorrow, probably not so much either, but tomorrow evening, yeah, we could work in a chance at a shower or two. That is possible, and we have to keep that in the back of the mind. This frontal boundary, with all of its watches and warnings indicated here in green for excessive rainfall and possible flooding, continues to press eastward. But as it does that, you know, a lot of this is just going to fall apart. This frontal boundary is going to be far removed from the energy source, which is well to the north. So as it gets close to us, our chances go way down. For beach and boating today, south wind at about 15 knots, kind of a breezy afternoon. And then as we head into the evening, 2 to 3 foot seas, moderate chop, but the winds start to die down a little bit. The forecast for the week, 7 days ahead, 83 degrees today. Probably tomorrow a little bit cooler. I think we'll have a little bit more cloud cover around. We'll work in that chance of an isolated shower late in the day, even into the evening hours. And then on Saturday, our rain chance at about 20% for the first half of the day. Then I think we'll get a little bit of a break in the afternoon and into the evening hours. And then on Sunday, I think the morning will be fine. But then as we head into the afternoon with a little daytime heating and the moisture still around, we will have that chance of rainfall. Beginning of next work week looks fine. Right?
Thank you, John. You still have a few more weeks to file your taxes. If you're doing your own taxes this year, our Stephanie Webb has some tips for you.
So you've waited too long and you can't get an appointment to do your taxes. Well, the alternative, time to give it a shot yourself. And there are some benefits. It's definitely a learning experience.
So you get to learn how this thing works, how taxes actually work, what you can anticipate each and every year. You get to learn a lot about your finances. And also, of course, you get to save money.
And these days, there's no shortage of websites and apps that can walk you through the tax filing process step by step. The most popular being TurboTax, H&R Block Online, and IRS eFile software. Next, don't wait to log and input all your tax info.
There's going to be a lot of gathering. You're going to get a lot of documents. First thing to do is when you get these documents, make sure you enter them immediately. So don't stack them all up on your desk and wait till tax day to do it, because what if your kid walks in, grabs that envelope, runs out with it, and rips it into 1,000 pieces? You're out that piece of paper you really, really need.
He also recommends this backup system to keep all of your documents on your computer, as well as a filing cabinet.
So each time you get one of these documents, fill it out on your software you're using, and then create a file on your computer, take a snapshot of it with your phone, upload it to your computer, and then put it in a file. And save that file for up to 5 years.
You'll need your Social Security number, this year's tax returns, any deduction verifications, and a copy of last year's returns. Then it's time to simply dive in and follow the instructions online. Now, these are instructions for filing typical tax returns. So how do you know if you really do need to get some help when filing?
Yeah, generally we say do them yourself because you save money, but there are times when it's best to let the professional handle it. That's going to be when you have a really complex situation or something changed. So let's say in the changing side, let's say you had a kid, or you bought a brand new house, got married, got divorced, retired. Those are all big changes that are going to change the way you do your taxes.
Stephanie Webb for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
A new survey says wedding guests are spending more than ever. Being in a wedding party will cost you on average $728. If your close family or friends plan to spend about $628. If you're part of the distant family, the survey says you'll still spend about $372.
And that includes everything from attending the wedding, the gift, attire, as well as attending bachelorette and bachelor parties and wedding showers.
Experts advise using points to travel if you can. Sign up for a new credit card that might have great introductory bonus on points. Also, the best advice, knowing when to decline an invitation. There's an art to that. It's not just toy shoppers looking for deals at the liquidation sales at Toys R Us stores across the country. Some of America's biggest retailers are looking for deals on space. Yeah, auctions on the leases for Toys R Us locations are starting today, with chains like Target and Big Lots and Ashley Furniture all showing some interest. Home sales are on the rise again nationwide. The National Association of Realtors says spending on home sales was up over 3% last month. That turns around about from a 5% drop in January. The group blames the back and forth on relatively short supply of available homes, which is also pushing up prices. Of course, realtors here on the Suncoast report a strong 2018 all around in Sarasota and Manatee counties. Still to come on your Suncoast News, how a boy recovering from cancer had an experience of a lifetime. Don't miss this story. It's coming up next.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today. And named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Everyone's buzzing about Suncoast View.
I like watching the Suncoast View.
I like the Suncoast View.
The cooking segments, I love the recipes. The theater segments are terrific.
Join Stephanie Roberts, Linda Carson, and special guests on Suncoast View for hot topics, everyday issues, celebrities, food, fashion, fitness, and everything in between. Nothing is off limits.
They're just fun.
For smart, fun talk in the afternoon, watch Suncoast View, weekdays at 4 on ABC 7.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
The Wild Broadway series brings you Funny Girl. Fanny Bryce dreams of being famous and through sheer guts and determination becomes a star of the Ziegfeld Follies. Playing March 28th through April 15th, it's the songs and story that generations have grown to love. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. Don't rain on my parade. Come see Funny Girl.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Entertainment news now. The return of the show Roseanne was a big hit with viewers. Reporter Jason Nathanson has the Showbiz Wrap.
The return of Roseanne rocked ratings-wise. An average of 18.2 million people tuned into the revival's debut Tuesday night, the biggest audience for any scripted show so far this season. In its time slot, those are the best ratings in 12 years. For revival comparison, Will and Grace was a hit with 10.2 million viewers in its return, 8 million less than Roseanne. Maybe those Roseanne ratings will put a Mad About You revival on the fast track. Paul Reiser has previously said he's thinking about it, and star Helen Hunt says they're in talks.
Which means me and Paul sit at my kitchen table and go, is this a bad idea or a good idea? That's sort of the big heavy talks we're in.
Hunt's new movie, The Miracle Season, opens a week from Friday. Officially opening today, it's Steven Spielberg's sci-fi action thriller Ready Player One, and he tells ABC News it's a return to classic Spielberg.
I felt I was not imitating that, but I felt like I was, in that world again.
The movie, based on the wildly popular book, is getting strong reviews. And tonight, Scandal's Darby Stanchfield. She plays Abby on the political drama. She's going behind the camera directing her first episode. And she tells me the hardest part was the hunger pains.
I had so much adrenaline and I was working so hard that I was like, a 14-year-old teenager who just got done swimming 100 laps. Like I needed food all the time because it was exhausting.
Scandal tonight is an hour later than usual after Grey's Anatomy and Station 19. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Pixar's superpowered family is getting the Lego treatment now. Lego The Incredibles is coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. The game uses elements from both Incredibles movies, with players taking on the roles of the Parr family to fight crime. The new game will be released on June the 15th. All right, here we go. Something more incredible. An Ohio family experienced a historically holy moment in Italy. 12-year-old Peter Lombardi was diagnosed with a form of leukemia 3 years ago. He's now in remission, so his family went to Italy to celebrate, and that's when the Pope's security guards lifted Peter up and the Pope kissed him on the forehead. Peter's family had originally planned to see the Pope when he visited Philadelphia in 2015, but Peter was in the hospital then, having chemotherapy. He had to watch the whole thing on TV. His mom says this whole experience was a wish come true. You know, the Pope does that sort of thing a lot.
Yes.
Reaches into crowds and
it's very accessible.
He really is. Well said.
For a very different Pope this time.
That is safe to say. Have a good Thursday afternoon. Our next news at 5. We'll see you tomorrow morning on Good Morning Suncoast. We leave you now with a shot of Longboat Key in Sarasota Bay. Have a great day.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Well, I knew that.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
Florida Studio Theater presents Blue Suede Shoes, celebrating the birth of rock and roll. From the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry, to the king himself, Elvis Presley, this musical review features such great hits as Rock Around the Clock, Mustang Sally, Johnny Be Good, and of course, Blue Suede Shoes. Critics are calling Blue Suede Shoes a burst of rock history, dynamic and high voltage. Audiences are calling it phenomenal. Blue Suede Shoes has been held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting FloridaStudioTheater.org.